A new report from Reuters today found that every single living president is a descendant of slave owners, except for one, and it's not Barack Obama. It turns out Donald Trump is the one who didn't actually have ancestors that owned slaves. And they called him a racist, they called his family racist. The report also confirmed that Elizabeth Warren is not either. In fact, a Native American, as if we needed any more proof. But her family did own slaves too. Monica Crowley is the former Assistant Secretary of Treasury and the host of the Monica Crowley podcast, and she joins us now. Monica, surprise, surprise.
Well, what do we have here, Mr. Jones? It looks like the only living president with no ties in his ancestral background to slavery is one Donald Trump. Apparently, his family came from Europe long after slavery was abolished. So, all of these grossly unfair attacks and smears of Donald Trump as a racist and everything else from people who actually have a lineage directly tied to slavery is pretty rich with the irony. And you know what, Lawrence? I served in the Trump administration very proudly. And President Trump was literally the best president for the African-American community in a very long time, probably the best modern president for the Black American community. You know what he did? He delivered a booming economy that drove Black unemployment to historic lows. You know what else he did? He expanded school choice so that minority kids could have a shot at a better education. You know what else he did? He established opportunity zones to revitalize underserved communities. You know what else? He restored funding for HBCUs, and he did criminal justice reform. He was literally the best American president for Black America in a very long time. And of course, the left will never acknowledge that record. And now, of course, today they're going bananas that he doesn't have this kind of lineage to shareholding, to slaveholding, rather.
I just find it funny that Barack Obama's going to have to pay reparations and Donald Trump is not going to have to pay them. I'm just curious. And look, I was just telling the president's attorney here and spokesperson, sometimes the president agrees with what I said, sometimes he disagrees with what he says. But I do give him a lot of credit for specifically targeting Black males from his economic agenda. What do we see in a Trump Part 2?
Yeah, well, more of same. And President Trump has actually advanced that agenda. If he is elected to a second term, he will do more of that to uplift the Black community in terms of economic opportunity, in terms of revitalizing Black communities, in terms of educational choice, uplifting these communities in ways that the Democrats always talk a good game, Lawrence, but have never delivered over many decades. Donald Trump actually did. He gets very little credit for that because the Democrats control the media and they control the messaging. But Black America knows what Donald Trump delivered for them. And I have a feeling that he's going to get an even greater percentage of the Black vote next time around than he did in the first two.
Well, Black America knows things aren't going so well right now. And they can talk about all the emotions of the tweets and all that all day. But let me tell you, my barbershop, the brothers talk. And it's very clear that they don't support Joe Biden. Monica, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.